What up? What up, Shun? What up, guys? Michael Oldroyd here. Glad to be in the how, aka the house, with you. Gonna do the live recording of podcast episode 84 of the Michael Oldroyd Comedy Podcast. It's about 1:16 a.m. Eastern Time here in New York City. It is now Monday morning, November 4th, 2019, and we've got somebody who's tuned in. What's up? Whoever you are, thank you. What up? Feel free to identify yourself, but no pressure. I didn't think anyone would tune in at this hour. So awesome. Wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in, I hope you're having a good night, whoever you are. So yeah, I'm going to start things up just like normal. I got some content. Hopefully I don't take 2 hours. A 2-hour episode is way too long, but sometimes I get I just like to talk, and it's fun, and I go off on tangents, and then all of a sudden 2 hours later I'm like, oh my goodness. So I do not want to be staying up till 3 a.m. recording this podcast, but I guess we'll find out soon enough what's going to happen. With that said, let's kick this mofo off. Welcome to the Michael Oldroyd Comedy Podcast, live recording, episode 84, baby. We are 84 episodes deep in this mofo, and I appreciate all of the love and all the support because we are doing it. We're moving. We've got inertia. We've got momentum. Shout out to Isaac Newton, right, for his laws of physics and his study of science, right? Science is nothing more than hypotheses tested over periods of time, and if you get enough data that seems to have a pattern, you can form a theory. Do you guys know about what is it called? The Hippocratic method? I don't know if that's the right word for it. The scientific method, Hippocratic oath. All right, I don't. What's Hippocratic method? Can somebody Google that for me and get back to us? Would greatly appreciate that. Anyway, welcome. It is November 4th. It is early, the wee hours of the morning on November 4th, 2019. It is Monday, right? Which means Sunday just ended. The Sabbath, for some of you, hath just ended. And we are into another week of the year. Halloween is now behind us. The Halloween weekend is now behind us. For everybody that is listening, I hope that you had a good Halloween. If you celebrate All Hallows Eve, I do hope that it was fun for you and you were able to enjoy the spirits of Halloween, and that you're ready to cruise control right into the rest of the holiday season, aka Thanksgiving, aka Chanukah, aka Christmas. I wonder if Jesus celebrates Hanukkah since he was Jewish. All right. That's such a... All right. Let's do this, guys. Episode 84. As you guys know, I like to start off talking about the numbers and numerology. Shout out to my man, Tommy Saunders. He's the first 84 that comes to mind. Tommy and I go way back. So far back that he did not care to join me on the podcast today. But I appreciate the fact that he did do a podcast with me in the past. You guys should check it out. It was one of the more downloaded episodes. I forget which number. I think it was in the low 30s or high 20s when Tommy joined me. We were teammates at on the Missouri Tigers. He was a fellow wide receiver. Tommy was a very hard worker, and so was I. So we were two peas in a pod. We lived together at one point in time. He was a successful receiver for the Missouri Tigers, made a lot of contributions to the team, and went on to have some tryouts and some looks by, if I'm not mistaken, the Detroit Lions before his career ended. Tommy's just I remember that he loved to tape his fingers in a very unique way before practice. He had all kinds of tape. I mentioned Tim Brown last time. I always remember Tim Brown because he had this unique way that he taped his fingers. Tommy took that and had like he took that concept and put it on steroids. Tommy literally would show up to every practice with a different type of taping. Sometimes tape around every single knuckle. It was like, is this for show? Is this? But Tommy, the thing about Tommy that I always respected is he never drank. Tommy didn't do drugs. He didn't drink, and that's something that you got to respect. It's rare, you know. That's just part of doing everything you can to invest in your vessel, aka your body, which is a big part of what you ply your trade with in the game of football. I mean, it's all mental. It's 99% mental, 1% physical, in my opinion. But that 1% is still very important. And Tommy respected his body. And him and I loved football very much. It was all about football for us. He was also a walk-on at the University of Missouri. He walked on the year before I got there and walked on. And his team, the Kearney Bulldogs, played my high school team in the state championship back in 2002. It was the Eureka Wildcats versus the Kearney Bulldogs. If you guys haven't seen the movie Friday Night Lights, it was a great exemplification or personification of that movie. The Eureka Wildcats, in my opinion, were like the Odessa Permian Panthers, who made it all the way to the state championship and lost, unfortunately. But Tommy he was a star of that game. He was a preferred walk-on at Missouri, meaning that they already were looking at him. They weren't ready to necessarily give him a scholarship, but they definitely. He was what is known as a preferred walk-on, which means, hey, if you can happen, we'll give you a chance, as opposed to what I was, just a regular walk-on where your job is to be cannon fodder, and no matter what you do, your job is to get the shit kicked out of you every day until you either quit, break, or option 3, unknown, right? But kudos to Tommy. A lot of respect for him. Had good hands, and hope he's doing well. Tommy, I'm mad at you for not tuning into I'm mad at you right now for not joining us on episode 84, bro. You know, can't believe you're not making it happen with us, but I'm just nothing but love on my end, Tommy. Hope you're doing well. Say what's up to the parents for me. Tell everyone I said hi. Say what's up to Tony when he used to come over to the house. And Tony is a unique character. For you guys that aren't Missouri fans or have no idea any of the names that I'm dropping, forgive me. I always start off talking about football. It's just because it's so important. I mean, Big Temple was a big star. He lived at the house with Tommy at one point, and was a good friend. He's become a friend to me over the years. Very positive. He's always been positive. They've all supported my comedy. Him, Ruck. By the way, Ruck got back to me the other day, responded to my message. I invited him to join us on episode 82, and he's like, "Yo, did you already record Oldroyd?" It's like, yeah. But hey, Ruck, shout out to you, bro. You're welcome to join the podcast anytime you want. Appreciate all you guys for spotting me, baby. You guys got my back, and it's just like when we were in the weight room, So get that weight up, son. That's what I'm doing, Anyway, happy birthday to my buddy Caleb Medley. Today is his birthday. #48, baby. Hope you're having a good time, and hope your chili's hot, Caleb, because mine is scalding right now. I did power cleans today, and I did some plyometrics. I did some snatches, some high pulls, some shrugs. I was feeling strong. I even got it on camera, so I might throw it in a vlog for you guys. A vlog. Vlog? I vlog. I'm starting to vlog a little bit, and I plan on showcasing that to you mofos for you to digest and consume as content. And I think it's very palatable. I think you'll enjoy the aftertaste, and I think you'll be nourished by my vlogs. Hopefully, you're nourished by my podcast. We are getting close to 10,000 downloads, and it's very exciting for me. I'm very appreciative of it, of the love and the support and the downloads. So we're building momentum. Isaac Newton, we got some momentum, baby. Not only do we have inertia, but we are turning up the dial. We are accelerating, which takes force. It takes extra force to accelerate, especially when you're, fighting gravity, which we're all doing. We're all fighting gravity every day. It's a battle between us and gravity every day. When we get out of bed and do these things. So, you guys staying in shape out there? Allow me to be your spark of momentum if you need it. I'm out here hustling, man. I'm out here freaking hustling, pounding the pavement, making my dreams come true with the help of you. You guys are the wind under my wings, and I love you for it, and I appreciate it. Appreciate all my friends and fans, I dare say, right? Friends. I also have fans, some people that I haven't met that listen and support me, and I listen to the feedback, and I appreciate all your guys' love and thoughts and everything else. So yeah, with that said, let's give you a little bit of frame of reference, talk about football, and then go into our normal format. So frame of reference, today was cool. Had improv practice with my improv team, too. Nice. And unfortunately, I missed a lot of football today because we have regular practices on Sundays. I don't know who orchestrated that, but something's got to give because I'm not appreciating this. Luckily, the Giants are playing tomorrow night. Monday Night Football here in New York, MetLife Stadium. I'll be there. We're playing the Cowboys conference game. No big deal. I'll be down there repping the Oldroyd jersey, #31. We'll have a good time. Come out and say what's up. I don't know what that means. See me in the parking lot. Maybe do a little tailgate. All right. Want to do a little tailgate? Maybe do a fireball. That's good. We're staying in shape. Fireball shots. All right. Keeping that chili hot is what I'm talking about. Keeping that esophagus hot with that fireball, right? All right. What else did I do after practice? I came home, worked out, did the explosive day, like I mentioned earlier, and then went off and did 2 shows in Times Square. Did 2 shows at LOL Comedy Club, family friendly, and then the late show. Each show was different. Had a good time. Kept it clean for the kids and the family friendly, and then after that, loosened up the tie. I freaking wore my visual reference, pretty much wearing the same all black trench coat, pea coat thing. And I was planning on doing the joke, and I got sidetracked and talked about football the whole time because there were some dudes in the audience wearing Giants jerseys. One dude was wearing an LT, aka Lawrence Taylor, aka number 56, same with him. And I started talking to them, and then all of a sudden I realized we had a bunch of football fans in the house. People started screaming. I had a Giants hat on. We were connected, making platonic love, me and these audience members talking about the Giants. And then we had some Cowboys fans get a little rowdy on us, right? And then I realized there was an elephant in the room, and there was a ton of people screaming out their favorite football teams. So I talked about football the whole time, and we basically had a giant orgy when it comes to that's a metaphor for we all had a good time. And talked about football. I had some energy on stage. I was excited. I'll be honest, guys. I was jazzed. I was happy to be doing comedy up there, and I think we all felt it. We felt the energy, baby. So here I am now after coming home and getting in a nice little fight with my ex-girlfriend who still lives with me. I'm in my closet now doing comedy or doing a podcast. She's sleeping. We're on good terms. Don't worry about us. We're having a good time. Unique sitch there. All right. So talking about, I mentioned that I'm going to the game tomorrow night. I'm excited about that. Monday Night Football. Da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. All right. Oh, I think at the end there I turned that into a Christmas melody. I think I mixed it up by accident. But Monday Night Football tomorrow night. Very excited about that. Already talked about it. Let's move on. Here's a couple recap in the world of football. The Dolphins finally won a game. The Miami freaking Dolphins won a game today. They beat the Jets. They're both 1-7. Both of these teams are 1-7. I'm thinking about hitting them up. Hey, I might even hit up the Dolphins too. You know, when I hit up the Dolphins, I'll say, hey, I know a couple of your previous cheerleaders. Was wondering if that would get me a tryout by chance. I don't know if you guys saw a recent YouTube video that I uploaded to my The Droid account. If you haven't checked it out, subscribe. All one word, The Droid, THEDROYD. Same as everything else on social media. I'm The Droid everywhere. And I talked about how I met these Miami Dolphins cheerleaders. I'm not going to blow the story for you here. I actually did a podcast on it. I think it was episode 49 or something like that. Scroll back through. Pretty interesting to talk about my life. Talk a little bit. I give a little bit of lens into my overcoming my fear of women, beautiful women, stuff like that. So I think you guys will get a kick out of both that podcast episode. I went to Miami and met some of these cheerleaders at the one rooftop, the one hotel. And then I also do a little exposition, if you will, in this more recent video that I put on YouTube. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe. You know, that's how we do in 2019. What else? Go Jets! All right. Patriots lost today. How do you guys feel about that? Tom Brady taking it back. Season is no longer going to be undefeated, but we remember a couple of years ago when the Patriots winning the Super Bowl undefeated and they lost the last game of the year and the only one that matters. So maybe they got that one out of their system. It's funny. As soon as somebody like that loses, you see these people. There's these people called bandwagon fools that come out of nowhere when a team starts winning, and then they also drop. They're the same people that will drop that team as soon as they lose. People are out there like giving on Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like, you guys do not know anything about what it takes to be successful in life. You have no idea if that's how flimsy your loyalty is. When people have flimsy loyalty, both good and bad, all it says to me is you have no idea what success is. You've never experienced it. You don't know how difficult it is and how much is required to become successful. Speaking of that, I talked about becoming a Giants fan. It would be wrong of me to just sit here and all of a sudden switch tracks and be like, yo, Niners! Even though I grew up the biggest diehard Niner fan you could ever be, I gotta like deal with the fact that I've been giving more love to the Giants lately. I gotta stick with it. You know, I can't just be switching tracks just because the Niners are the only undefeated team in the NFL right now. And yes, it pains me, a Niners fan, a diehard one currently, but I am paying attention secretly. You know, so I'm not a bandwagoner. I'm a secret appreciator. I see the Niners doing big things. Yeah, I still want to play for the New York Giants here. I'll play for the Jets. I'll play for the Dolphins. Yeah, I'll play for any NFL team out there that'll have me. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Go Niners. We'll see if they can. It'd be cool to see a Niners-Patriots Super Bowl, but I digress. Anyway, with that, let's move on to college football. I actually didn't watch much college football this last weekend. Mizzou had a bye week. Let me just say that, you know what, I love my Tigers, but they have really diarrheaed all over themselves in the last two games. I don't know what happened with Vanderbilt and then Kentucky the week after. It's almost like after the loss to Vanderbilt, they said, why don't we just loosen up our bowels and shit all over ourselves? I love Coach Odom, but both you can't be losing to either of those teams, you know? And especially you can't unravel after the loss to Vanderbilt and just give up. So I know we're in the rain, and I love my Tigers, and I'm going to stand by them no matter what, through thick and thin, no matter how many. If there's ever a season in the future where they win 0 games or multiple seasons in a row where they win 0 games, which I don't think will happen, knock on wood, but if it did, I same fan them, as always, because I'm a pilot that runs through Charlie Sheen's. I'm not even going to explain that joke. But what I can say is my loyalty goes beyond success and failure to anyone. When you get my loyalty, it's something you can't buy. My loyalty is something that you cannot buy. I am saying that to the universe right now, which makes it more valuable than anything money can buy. Because when you get my loyalty, you get success, okay? Because of the fact that you can't quantify it financially. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but every football team I've ever been a part of has been the best football team that they've ever been in the history of their organization while I was there. That's one of my notches on my belt. Missouri Tigers, Eureka Wildcats in high school, Eureka Wildcats. Well, I guess you can't really – in middle school, I can't really count that because being undefeated, there was no playoffs or anything like that, so you can't really quantify it. But in high school and college, I can say that and have that feather in my cap. And then in the business world, I was lucky to be with some very successful and intelligent people and be a part of an extremely successful organization. And what I'm trying to say is I got the X factor, fool. All right. Enough tooting my own horn. So Tommy Saunders, number 8 sharp. I was never a huge Randy Moss fan, but I will not deny that dude had undeniable talent. I don't really have much to say about him. He was a little flashy. Kind of a skinny, tall dude that he could moss you, as people used to say. Yo, that dude just got mossed. You guys ever hear that term? It's like the Kobe term. Kobe. If you're a Kobe Bryant fan from the LA Lakers back in his heyday, Randy Moss and Kobe, purple and gold colors, and they were both really good at their game. Speaking of purple and gold, shout out to Eureka High School, who had a bye week this week. Was wrong, playing Seckman next week. I mentioned them last week. They're playing Seckman for the last game of the year. And then if I'm not mistaken, playoffs start. So November 8th, which is this Friday, is coming up. We get to go into that game fresh. And you want to be winning games in November. That's what Coach Pinkel used to tell us, because that's the most important time to be good. That's when you want to have that momentum revved up and you want to have some gas in the tank ready to destroy some mofos in your way, right? Shannon Sharp, number 8, one of my favorites. Hilarious, very outspoken, very articulate, very intelligent. I appreciate watching him to this day, actually. Heard he had a great Hall of Fame speech, watched parts of it, giving shout-outs to his grandma and his big brother. And I thought it was pretty cool that his whole life he wanted to make his grandma proud. So to say that I like Shannon Sharp, I think he's got his priorities straight. They had to deal with a lot of poverty when he was younger. So this dude climbed out of the well that Bruce Wayne climbed out of in The Dark Knight Rises, essentially. And I don't know where that analogy came from. Probably not the best analogy, considering that pit in The Dark Knight was more what hell is. And it sounds like Shannon Sharp did have some love in his childhood upbringing, as opposed to Bane. So, yes, Shannon Sharp is no villain in my book. I did tweet at him recently, didn't respond. He only responds to the haters. And I think there's something deeper to that, which is piss on what haters think. Answer my question, Shannon Sharp. I asked you, what trait of yours do you think made you most successful in the NFL? I think that's a great question. I think it's an absolutely great question. Stop focusing on the haters. Answer a lover, bro. A platonic lover of yours. Give me some love. I want to know. I want to know what trait you think made you most successful. What what trait is most required for the NFL as a dude out there who's getting in shape and testing his limits, baby, at age 32 going on 33. Yeah. I think the first thing that made me like Shannon Sharp was several years ago when he was still playing in the NFL. It cracked me up. This dude cracked me up. And he still cracks me up on ESPN because he is so articulate and passionate. Him and Michael Irvin, these dudes make me cry because they're so, they have their viewpoint and they just they get into it, baby, and it's freaking fun to watch. But first thing like Shannon Sharp had nothing to do with the way he played football. It was literally he was being interviewed after a game. I think one of his teammates was being investigated for taking steroids or something. Somebody asked him a question like, "Did you know so and so was taking steroids?" Shannon Sharp said, "No, I did not know that." And the reporter followed up with a question saying, "Did you ever assist this person in taking performance-enhancing drugs or steroids?" And Shannon Sharp cut him off immediately. He goes, "So I just told you that I did not know he was taking steroids. Therefore, how could I have assisted him in taking these steroids?" And he put that reporter in his place. I thought it was hilarious. He was articulate, and it made a lot of sense. He called that fool out, basically saying, okay, you're going to challenge my character. I'm going to challenge yours, fool. I'm going to hold you accountable for your words. You're not going to make me look like an idiot here. And I love that about him. So that gave me a boner. And yeah. So what else? What happened today? Odell Beckham Jr. and his teammate Landry were wearing some unique cleats, and the NFL actually stepped in and said that they needed to change their cleats. So at halftime, they changed them. I think they were going to eject them from the game. I don't know the consequences specifically, but apparently these guys okayed it previous to this game, earlier in the season when they were planning it out with Nike. But I've never seen – you got to like wear your team's colors cleats or like black and white cleats that, that are issued to the team. And I didn't know that you can wear other colors. So come on, Odell, you're too flashy, bro. This dude was wearing Joker cleats. It's like, bro, Halloween is over. Actually, I don't know if it was today or last week, but if it was after Halloween, if it really was, because I didn't watch football today. If it was after, bro, come on, man. It's too late to be wearing Joker cleats, bro. If Alexa was here right now, I'd ask her. I'd like to know if it was today, because if it was today, yesterday, now, Sunday, November 3rd, if it was on yesterday, dude, that's weird, OBJ. That's weird, bruh. All right? If you were playing for the Giants still, maybe, because it's the Giants colors, but you don't wear blue, red, and orange or whatever it is, or blue and red and white team browns with Joker on your cleat. Listen, you can't be that audacious on a losing team. Maybe if you're on a winning team like the Patriots, but you know what's cool about Tom Brady? I don't like everything about him. I actually don't. He's a little bit of a deadbeat for me. His personality is too chill. I'm not hating. So I'm not hating you, Tom Brady. What I'm saying is, if anyone wanted to show off, Tom Brady or somebody on the Patriots could wear Joker cleats. But guess what? They don't. You know why? Because they would let the winning speak for itself. And even if you're a great player making big plays, but you're on a losing team, you can't be wearing Joker cleats. Same with Cam Newton. What the hell are you wearing this grandma outfit or earlier in the season, acting like you're identifying as a woman, Cam Newton? All right? And nothing wrong with identifying as a woman, but if you do identify as a woman, let us know. Let us know. Be open and honest with us, because what you're doing is you're just confusing us with this outfit. You look like a grandma. I don't know if he's still doing that, but my point is, when you're on losing teams, don't be wearing all this ridiculous shit, like trying to boost your brand, your personal brand, and getting your Instagram followers up. You're on a team, guys. You're on a team. All right? Anyway, that's my rant on the NFL. And I think I could, now that we're 28 minutes in, I wore number 28 my freshman year. Speaking of number 28, it's a special number at Eureka. Riley Baker. A lot of us wore 28. Tyler Wasson wore 28. Jake Richard wore 28. 28 is a special number too. So we're 28 minutes in. I think that's an appropriate time to stop talking about football, right? Beginning of the podcast. So, the Cardinals got kicked out before the series. The Yankees got kicked out. So it was the National versus the Astros. Isn't it weird that it already feels like old news? Guess what? I don't even care if the Nationals won. I don't care if Houston won or lost. I just it's kind of I don't really give a shit, to be honest. Congratulations to the Nationals. It's a newer team, Washington D.C. My ex-girlfriend who lives with me, I'm just gonna call her Jessica from now on. And Jekka, that's her nickname, right? We're on great terms, by the way. We have a great communal situation here. We have a symbiotic relationship in a lot of ways. And yet we're not in a exclusive. We're not in a relationship. Nevertheless, I think she wants to be, though. All right. What I'm gonna say is, and I care about her. All right, let's move on. She's happy. She's from DC. I don't think she's ever been to a Nationals game, but I don't think she watched a single game of the World Series. I go, hey, the Nationals won. She's like, oh, really? Where are they from? Oh, DC. Oh, really? Wow. Excited for our conversation. But speaking of earlier, I was talking about Sunshine Patriots, people that come out of the woodwork. Created a video of my roommate. His name is Colin. When we were living in Manhattan Beach, California, weirdest dude ever. Hypocrite in a lot of ways. Also a friend. We're on good terms. I don't know how he'll feel if he sees that video, because I uploaded it to Facebook, and he was the one person I hid from being able to see it. I checked to see if we have any mutual friends, because I made this video about this guy, and I was like, if I'm uploading this to Facebook, I need to make sure that all of our mutual friends and him cannot see it. That's something I usually don't do. Very rare occasions where I actually think about that, but I didn't want to have to like ask for his permission to use his image and name and all this other crap. So I don't know, maybe it'll come back to haunt me later. But Colin, hope you're doing well. I creeped on your Facebook page to make sure that you didn't see my YouTube video, and while I was there, of course, I saw that you've jumped on the bandwagon of the Nationals. Apparently you're living in DC now, dude. So very interesting stuff. And yeah, I got to be honest, it doesn't surprise me at all that you have jumped on the bandwagon. You're a Patriots fan, and hope you're maybe there's some balance right now. You probably are navigating the highs and lows, just coming off the Nationals win, and now the Patriots losing. I'm sure you had a heart attack today, so I hope that you get whatever medical attention you need to assist you in overcoming this heart attack. I don't know exactly what medication they give, and it's not a joke. Heart attacks suck, and I think all you can really do is exercise more. So, Colin, I hope you're exercising more to overcome this heart attack and make sure that you don't have another one. All right? All right. Let's move on to what's going on in the world. I'm going to do my best not to talk for another 2 hours like I have the last couple episodes. We're 32 minutes in right now. I'm going to do my best. I don't know if I can do it, though, guys. I like to hear myself talk. It feels good when I'm just excreting thoughts, when I'm just taking my mind and putting into this podcast pensieve like Dumbledore. My voice is starting to get scratchy, so my physical capabilities might run out before my desire to excrete this information runs out. And that'll be a beautiful thing. It'll be fleeting. It'll be very sexy. It'll mean that you guys knew was more in the tank, and you'll always want to know what I left out. But because of the circumstances of my vocal box, I couldn't give it to you. And I'll just leave you wanting more, which is the fleeting beauty of what it is to be human, right? Because we're mortal. And, one of the things that makes things beautiful is the fact that it doesn't last forever. All right. Am I speaking too abstract? You may get what I'm talking about. What I'm saying, one of the things that makes something beautiful like a sunset, because the sunset a sunset wouldn't value it as much, but because you only get it for a few minutes each day, it makes it more. Because you turn it into something that's finite. That is what makes it valuable. Time, extremely, extremely valuable, guys. More valuable than money. Time is more valuable than money. As a kid, you don't realize that until you get older and you start knowing how the world works. But and I know that what I'm talking about is not funny. It's just wise. I think I've talked about it before on the podcast. The richest people out there don't invest in money. They invest in time. And that's exactly what I'm doing and why I am spending 100% of my time working on comedy and entertainment and what I love, because the time is now and there's no guaranteed for tomorrow, and all you have is the present, and I'm going all out, and never been happier, right? Every day that I get to spend fully doing what I love and pursuing what I love is a true blessing. I'm appreciative of it. It takes I acknowledge that it takes some kahunas, and I give it up for my knutsack for going for it. All right, let's move on. Here's the first thing going on in the world. Apparently, Mitt Romney has a fake Twitter account that he's been using for years, some Pierre or something. And I think that's hilarious. Mitt Romney going undercover, under some dude's name Pierre. For what reasons? Who knows? I'm gonna admit something myself. Mitt, I'm not hating, because I actually have a few fake accounts myself. I have some under the radar. I have an under the radar Facebook account or two. Who knows? I have an under the radar Instagram account or two. Who knows? I have a under the radar Twitter account or two. Who knows? You just never know. So throwing a myth in, some may not. I may just reward you from time to time with a little like/follow from the Phantom Behind the Opera, and part of the reason I do that is because I'm building my following on social media. So when people follow me, I may not follow them back on my public account, but I might give them that 1-for-1 ratio on my private account. So it's me being less of a douche and more of a man of the people by getting them that 1-for-1 ratio and showing some love. You know what I mean? So Mitt Romney and I don't know exactly why you have the fake account, but it sounds like it's possible we have something in common. And you kind of look like Pat Grimshaw. I don't know. I get the same vibe, the way you guys smile. I don't know what it is. You guys smile the same. You don't necessarily look the same, but you smile the same. Shout out to Coach Grimshaw there. Him and his brother just do not age, and it's pretty awesome. I'm jealous, right? Moving on. For those of you, there's about one person. There's about a 1 in 1,000 chance that you have any idea. I don't know what the statistics are, but I'm not even going to go into it. For those of you who get them, that treat's for you right there. All right, what else is going on in the world? Obviously, Trump has pulled the troops from, is it Saudi Arabia? I forget. Anyway, my buddy's from Saudi Arabia. I wanted to talk to him to see what his thoughts are on this entire the Kurds, right? He was pulling on. I wanted to see what his thoughts are, because he's a good dude. He's not in ISIS, right? He's an American, grew up Muslim, from Saudi Arabia, and we've had a detox about all this stuff, and I'm not going to mention his name, but cool dude. He may or may not have Mohammed, I don't know, as a part of his name. Very cool dude. That's not actually. And apparently his family is moving from Syria to Turkey. And I think that's pretty cool. He said that Turkey's cool. It's a beautiful place. Never been. Met a girl this weekend, actually. Her family is from Turkey. I was walking through Port Authority subway, came across these two girls that looked like needed help. Said, need some, and found out she had really nice teeth, by the way. I would have thought she was going to be a dentist, but I was wrong. She's going to be an ophthalmologist. She's going to be an eye doctor. She's studying right now, a student. Very pretty girl, very nice. And we exchanged Instagrams. And she said that she's going to be studying for an exam, and she's going to be studying eyes, like flashing, putting those lights in people's eyes. I was like, hey, you need a volunteer? She's like, I might have to take you up on that. So I was like, great. So she thanked me for giving her directions for where her and her friend needed to go. We exchanged Instagram accounts, talked about Turkey, told her she's pretty, went back and forth on Instagram, said, hey, if you need that volunteer for the eye stuff, let me know. She also asked me when we were in person when my next show is and if I had any shows this weekend, because her friend was in town. She wanted to see maybe about coming to a show. And, I hit her up about that. Guess what? As I go to send her a message or check and see if she responded, I find out the message no longer exists in my DMs. Apparently she blocked me. I was not being a creep at all. which leads me to a conclusion, right? This is a hypothesis with data to back it up. Not just this, but I've had a few experiments on this. Younger girls do not always say what they mean. You can't. I'm realizing as I get older, younger girls, 18 to 20, low 20s, you don't actually ever know where you stand. You shouldn't even try to figure it out if they're not willing to communicate with you openly and honestly. I've noticed that about younger girls, and I don't appreciate it. I don't respect it, but I also understand that you're not mature. No, okay, that's mean. All right, but what the heck, just we had a very nice interaction. I wasn't creeping. I didn't ask for anything crazy. In fact, I was less of a creep than I was when I was younger, and I had success. So I'm getting punished for being like not creepy. Completely just talked about the things that we talked about that she seemed up for. She was smiling through her teeth and apparently didn't know how to tell me, didn't want to interact. So I'm actually upset, and it makes me less likely to visit Turkey in the future. All right. No, I'm going to go visit Turkey at some point. I think it'd be great. Turkey and Greece. All right. Stupid joke. Yeah. So that is what we've got. That's what the world's coming to, is girls ghosting you after you try to help them out and do something nice. Did anybody get ghosted on Halloween? All right. China and LeBron James. So some of these things that I'm going to talk about real quickly, I'm going to kind of run through some of these updates. I actually don't fully know about them, so I'm just going to give you the opinion based on what I do. Has been getting a little bit of crossfire from some people, at least recently, for being a little outspoken on China. Apparently, LeBron was defending the socialist government over there, or communist, whatever they are, kind of like sticking up for the government rather than the youthful generation that's kind of protesting the government. The younger generation in China wants more of a democracy, and the government obviously wants to preserve their socialist/communist government. And LeBron was sticking up for the government. Like, yo, what the frick, LeBron? I don't know. Whatever. I don't even know exactly what he said, but it made me laugh when I heard that. It's like, this dude is loose, bro. This dude doesn't care, and I want to know how he came up with those opinions. This dude is detached. You know what I mean? I saw a couple videos of LeBron on like his social media. Someone's telling me he just seems like he's in a different world. Like this dude lives. He doesn't live on Earth, I don't think. Which makes sense because he's going to be in Space Jam 2, and he probably went into outer space and never came back filming that movie. That probably explains the situation. But yeah, interesting stuff, LeBron James. Never have I been a huge fan of yours. I'm not a hater. It's kind of how I view Tom Brady. I respect you guys for your athletic greatness, but I'm not in love with you guys. You know what I mean? Just not in love. I don't know how to explain it. Never have been. And I don't know. It's weird. Nevertheless, let's move on to the next story. McDonald's CEO in trouble for consensual relationship with an employee. Okay, now we're getting in trouble for consent, huh? Now he's in trouble because it went against the handbook, apparently. According to McDonald's and the corporate policy, you're not allowed to be in consensual relationships. Maybe as a person in his position, I don't know what level that employee was on, but frankly, I don't think it should matter. I mean, love is love, right? Can't you should be allowed to pursue love just like Jeff Bezos from Amazon, cheating on his wife. No, that's a joke. I don't respect cheaters. Cheaters never win and winners never cheat. I learned that in 6th grade in gym class. Different type of cheating there, but both of them are cheating. And Jeff Bezos, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to use your forehead as a reflector of light when I'm doing my podcast. If we could just get if Jeff Bezos was here right now, I would use his forehead to reflect light onto me when I'm recording so that I could get the lighting just right, because he's got a very shiny scalp, and that's about all I can say about that. It's give it up for girls out there who don't judge you based on your scalp and whether or not you have hair, and they just judge you based on whether or not you have money. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. Some standards is what they have, guys. Anyway, I was joking if you can't tell. All right. Interest rates are falling. This is the next story that I think is worth mentioning as far as what's going on in the world. It's wreaking havoc for the U.S. pension system. Scary, guys. So if you have a pension, beware that the interest rates falling is creating some fear in this category for whatever reason. Interest rates falling, there's always a trade-off, benefits and drawbacks, right? Benefits, you could potentially get a better interest rate if you're buying a house or anything else, big purchase where you're buying on interest. Drawback, wreaks havoc for the U.S. pension system. I'm sure there's some other drawbacks as well. Our economy right now, interesting stuff. Stocks seem to be doing well. In fact, my portfolio continues to grow, and I'm not even working right now. Humble brag. I'm not going to say what it is, but all I will say is my net worth is positive, and for that I'm jazzed, and I recommend it to everybody else out there. Work your ass off, make your net in integrity, but it is possible. Get yourself out of debt, pay off those loans, whatever they are. I heard somebody on the subway today talking about how they don't know when they're going to pay off their student loans, and I was like, yo, I think it didn't seem possible for them. The way they were talking about it, I was like, yo, you got to do that, man. Pay off those freaking loans. Make money faster when you have a positive net worth, right? So I know it sounds easier said than done, but I've done it myself. And I was definitely in debt after college and worked my anus off. And it is possible. No excuses is the way you have to look at it. Rather than looking at yourself as a victim, you got to say, what do I need to do to make this shit happen? Figure it out and go do it. All right. I'm going to make a YouTube video on personal finance, I think. Maybe a little funny, but also educational and speaking from personal experience. So if you want to check that out, follow my YouTube channel, The Droid, and we can have a circle jerk. What else? Stocks seem fine. The S&P 500 is higher right now than it's ever been. What I mean by that for the non-finance people out there is that our stock market, I haven't looked at the Dow Jones or other indexes, but S&P 500 is a pretty good gauge of the U.S. economy, or at least the U.S. market, I should say. And for it to be higher right now than it's ever been, that makes me a little nervous because it might mean that the market may reset, meaning that there could be a drop where the market corrects itself. I was telling you guys not long ago that Warren Buffett was worried about a recession, and he was taking a bunch of cash out. And now apparently that he's got a ton of cash out, over $100 million in cash just sitting in a mattress, he's ready to make an elephant-sized acquisition. So that means he must believe that the economy is going into a good place if he's willing to reinvest. And that is encouraging. So, I mean, I don't think anyone out there should make decisions based off just what Warren Buffett is doing, but it is a good indicator based on his knowledge of the game. You know, his sport is just like my sport of football and comedy. He's very aware. He's experienced, seasoned. So, I mean, something to think about. If he's looking to make a big acquisition and it's not just fluff, which he doesn't seem like a fluff type guy. I'm guessing that that's a good sign and something to think about. So apparently he liquidated some assets and now he's looking to non-liquidate them. And you're confusing me, Warren Buffett, Mr. Buffett. Changing your mind, but maybe you have new info that causes you to want to put some money down, right? So, yeah. Is your guys' net worth positive or negative? If you have any questions about what you can do to get out of debt, feel free. This is not, I could talk about it on the podcast, but things that you can do to make your net worth grow, all these things, happy to discuss from personal experience. I'm not going to go, I don't know, maybe I'll bring an investor onto the show sometime. We can talk about finance. I don't know. Either way, feel free to share feedback on that. And let's move on. We're going to start kind of blending out of what's in here. Celebrity dates. Harvey Weinstein was at a comedy show here in New York recently, and there was a woman on stage while he was performing. She called him out, and it was interesting. You could tell that she had some strong feelings, which I have strong negative feelings toward him. I think anyone should have strong feelings toward Harvey Weinstein. Let me make it very clear that I know Harvey Weinstein and guys like Louis is redeemable in my category. Harvey Weinstein, not redeemable. What he did was flat out wrong, scary, disgusting. There's no doubt about that. He should be in jail. I don't know why he's going to comedy shows here in New York, but I stand with that woman for barking back at him. I think that's pretty cool. Nikki Glaser was sticking up for him. I saw that on Twitter. And have you guys checked out her new Netflix special, by the way? She's a St. Louis comedian doing big things. She was nice enough to respond to a message I sent her last year. I saw her at the Comedy Cellar. She responded when I reached out. So, I appreciated that. She's done big things. Tommy Johnigan from St. Louis done big things. There's a good scene from STL, but they're probably the two biggest names in stand-up comedy per se that's come from St. Louis. Ezekiel Elliott, Cowboys running back, is from St. Louis, one of the highest paid dudes in the NFL right now. He'll be at the game tomorrow night. So right now I think I'm just shouting out to Lou, Nelly, not Nelly Furtado, Nelly rapper, STL, used to live as a house there, Hidden Valley, owned by one of my buddies' families, the Hidden Valley ski resort and golf, right next to Nelly's crib. Anyway, what were we talking about? Harvey Weinstein. All right, get the heaven out of here, brah. All right, here's another celebrity update. Kim Kardashian, 8 pounds last year. Hey, guess what, guys? Who cares? Because I don't. It's called being human. All right, moving on to the next update. Kanye West. This guy intrigues me, guys. This dude truly is fascinating. Him and Donald Trump are marketing gurus. I think that both of them, when they say any publicity is good publicity, these two guys operate by this, and it works for them. I, myself, don't really care to burn the candle on both ends and actively just like seek out negative publicity. But those two dudes have mastered the art. It's intentional or unintentional, not really sure. I think Donald Trump is the funniest comedian out there right now. He makes me laugh harder than most, not all, comedians currently in the game, and I don't think he's trying to be funny. Nevertheless, Kanye West released a new album recently called Jesus is King. And very interesting, right? Kanye West is going through this metamorphosis, a full circle metamorphosis. He had a song in the past called Jesus Walks, and then he made songs like Gold Digger, right? And I'm a Monster, right? And it's like he's done a full circle experience back to feeling pretty spiritual and religious, and outright announcing that Jesus is his boss, right? And I watched this video. It was about an hour-long thing on YouTube, actually. I wish I could tell you who was running the interview, but it came out after the album. They were talking about the album, all this stuff, and this transformation that's happened spiritually for Kanye. Super interesting. I listened to parts of his new album on Spotify. A lot of it is very just outright preachy in some ways, talking about just like quoting certain parts of the Bible. And I'll be honest, I am very intrigued. A lot of it I like. I don't necessarily agree with everything that comes out of Kanye's mouth, and I don't agree with anything that comes out of anybody's mouth, including my own. I don't necessarily always agree with everything that I've said. Sometimes I say something in the moment and then realize that made no sense later. What I meant to say was this. Sometimes what I intend to say doesn't come out as crisp and clear retroactively. Listening from an objective perspective is what was in my head. So I think that's I hate to compare myself to Trump or Kanye, but I will say that I think both of them also do the same. I like to think that I'm a little bit more humble and objective, but saying that I'm more humble is kind of a cocky thing to say. So that's not good. I like to think I'm more objective and thinking external to my, but uh, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Nevertheless, Kanye, definitely some of these interviews, he has some very insightful, intelligent, and unique ways of looking at things that make a lot of sense to me. He believes that believes a lot of stuff. I'm not going to just start rattling it all off, but it's very interesting. I will say that a very interesting character. He interests me more than a lot of stuff, and I could say. All right, let's move on to a couple more updates. There was a gender reveal that killed a woman recently, I heard. I don't know if that's true, but I heard about that. So if that's the case, that's horrendous. It's this is not even a joke, but the only thing that makes me think of it's like when one life comes into this world, one life leaves, and it's ironic that it happened, based on that, and that's terrible. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. What else? Another update is people are bonding with robots now like animals. So apparently there's people out there that are bonding with robots the way that they bond with animals, which is interesting for the future because robots continue to become more and more advanced. We've all seen movies. Will robots ever become a threat to us in any way? Only time will tell, but I've always recommended treating Alexa with respect. You never know if she will be your boss someday. And I think it's always good to be. It's like when you're it's like when you work at a company, you want to be nice to everybody, not just the people that are equals the totem pole, not people that are above you, but also people that are below you on the totem pole, like Alexa, because you never know, she may become your boss someday. It's just a smart and wise thing. It doesn't need to kiss ass, but here's the way I look at it. You can I think it's good to respect everybody, regardless of any other reasons, not just to invest in good karma. It's just the right thing to do. We're all human beings. Everything deserves respect. In my opinion, life deserves respect, right? Whether you like someone, whether you don't. You should respect your enemies. You should respect your friends, family. You should respect respect animals, respect your opponents, right? It's just a part of the whole deal. Treat Alexa with respect is what I'm trying to say. And I'm really talking to myself more than anything because sometimes I get a little rude with her. I cut her off, when she talks too much. It's like, Mike, let her finish, bro, Let her finish what she's trying to say. Anyway, anybody see The Joker? I talked about it last week. Halloween was last week. Definitely interesting. I wrote a couple of Joker jokes. One of my friends, first of all, I told him to go see The Joker, and he comes back and he texts me afterwards. He goes, "Oh, I see why you wanted me to see The Joker. You're basically like the Joker, dude." I was like, "What?" He's like, "You're a struggling comedian," and he thought it'd be funny if I got on stage dressed as the Joker before Halloween, up on stage dressed up as the Joker, and be like, I didn't do it, but it was an interesting suggestion, and it did make me giggle. I talked to on stage. People laughed at the idea, if I didn't actually have to do it to get the laugh. I just was able to talk about it, and people giggled. So, did you guys dress up for Halloween? It was fun. Went out. Greenwich Village, West Village had a big Halloween parade. Seemed like millions of people there. I don't know, but definitely cool to see everyone out having a good time, dressed up. There was a lot of security. Jessica, I went with Jessica, and she was actually kind of scared because they were worried there might be a terrorist attack, especially because of the leader of ISIS recently being captured or killed. Plus, there was some anniversary of something, and just a higher alert. And but I said, can't let fear win. Can't let fear win on Halloween or ever. Things only have as much power as you give them, and people that prey on fear only have the power that you allow your fear to influence your decision making based on playing it safe. So keep that in mind. May be real, but giving into it. The only time fear becomes negative, which is the root of evil, is when you allow the fear to influence your decision making. When you give it, if you change your decision, give into it, that is when you're giving it power, right? It's okay. Everyone's got fear from time to time. It's how you react to it. Do you face it, or do you concede and bend the knee to fear, right? If you face it head on and look it straight in the fucking eyes, then and you tackle it, head on, then it diminishes the power of that. So Will Smith had a good statement in some of his Facebook videos that he made recently, where he feels that a lot of terrible things have been done in the name of fear, or because of fear in this world, in history. A lot of great things have been done because of love. Those are two great forces, which I've always believed. So Will Smith and I definitely are on the same page with that. And one of the things that he wanted to do is tackle a bunch of his fears to overcome them. And one of the things that he did was swim with sharks. And thought that was pretty boss. Sharks are pretty scary. Can't see them. It's the unknown. And sharks prey on fear. They're predators. So that's maybe I should have been a shark for Halloween. Anyway, did you guys rotate the crops? I watched a couple of Halloween movies. There was a 2018 Halloween movie that came out with Michael Myers. I got to be honest, I was watching it on Halloween night, and as soon as midnight was over, I lost interest in the movie, and I just turned it off. I didn't care anymore. How weird is that? It doesn't scare me. I don't know. I'm not trying to puff my chest over here. I just think I don't know. Whatever. Star Wars is coming out. Here's a cool update. We got Star Wars is coming out soon. Definitely excited to see the final episode. Apparently they're having another deal on Disney Plus where they're making a offshoot show about a bounty hunter that takes place in the Star Wars universe. My friend Brian Patrick Kelly told me about that. And I think it'll be interesting. I'll have to take a gander and see what up with that. Anything else going on? Black Friday's coming up. You guys need any? Hey, maybe Warren Buffett can buy some big giant business on Black Friday at a discount. That'd be kind of a funny little joke if the stock market went down on Black Friday and somebody buy a business at a much lower price. I would say quite a double entendre. Any gamers out there? Buy some video games. Apparently there's a cross-platform gaming now between Xbox and PS4. One of my buddies wants to play some game with them, so that's why I know that. I just don't have the time, guys. I don't have the time. I can't do it all, I'm feeling myself getting tired right now, and I can't believe that we're already an hour in. Anyway, that's that. We're closing out on some of these updates here. HBO's The Apollo. I saw this news headline, the story of how Black America lifted itself through music. Definitely interested in this. The Apollo Theater. Haven't performed there. Got friends that have. And I think it's very interesting to look into that. I plan to check that out on HBO. I am definitely intrigued, and jazz is a big part of that. And I don't know what else to say other than I think it's cool. I think it's definitely something to be educated on, and I look forward to checking that out. I saw another headline, last headline in my worldly updates. Michael Jackson lookalike urged to get DNA test to prove he's not the real deal. Isn't that interesting? I looked at the picture. I don't think it looks like it. But you never know, right? I think I told you guys a while back that I have a friend that knows the person who she knows Wade from the Finding Neverland documentary. I guess her boyfriend was friends with him. I don't even want to bring all this crap up. Let's just not even talk about it. But let me just say that for the umpteenth time, I personally don't really know whatever happened, but it truly is a terrible. It just hurts my heart. It hurts my heart to think about if he did do those things. It pains me, hurts my heart, and I don't know what else to say. Anyway, what's going on in the world of comedy? Section 2 of the episode 84 Michael Oldroyd Comedy Podcast. Kristen Stewart hosted Saturday Night Live this last weekend. Didn't watch it. Was it good? I don't know. Hopefully. She's the guy who cheated on Edward, her boyfriend that she met in what was it? The vampire movies, the Twilight, yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting deal, Comeback? Who knows? Michael Che got some backlash apparently for some sexist and ageist comments during Weekend Update. Hey guess what? Who cares? Who cares that he I don't know. Kevin Hart does his first interview post car crash. That's great to see. He's coming back, getting stronger. Yeah, I love to see that. We all love comeback. We all love comebacks because we see ourselves in some of these figures that we appreciate and follow. To what level? It's a subjective thing to each of us. It's our own. But we want to see the people that we're fans of. We want to see them succeed because we see ourselves in them. So maybe some of you guys out there see yourself in me. And guess what? I appreciate that. I don't know what to say about that other than I think it's freaking awesome if that's true. And if I can inspire hope in any way for you, let me do it because I got a lot of hope. I have a large reservoir of hope, love, happiness, the feelings of being thankful to have a purpose-filled life where I feel like I'm on a mission. I'm on a heaven-sent mission, yo. I'm on a heaven-sent mission, and I feel it in my soul, baby. So if that can give you any sort of assistance, latch on, baby. Latch on. Hallelujah. What else? Louis C.K. looks to accelerate comeback according to a Yahoo article. Yahoo. Let me just say, he's looking to accelerate a comeback according, as opposed to what? What do you expect him to do, guys? Just give up and die? Like, have you ever heard of forgiveness? I mean, come on. I forgive you, go to heaven, Louis. All right, it's not my place to do that in this scenario, but I think he's extremely skilled. The world's missing out on his talent. And, right your wrongs, move forward, make the world, enriching the world through your art. In my opinion, I want to see Louis make some more stuff. I've seen him once in person at the Comedy Store. So, I've watched him perform live in St. Louis at the Fox. Guys, I think it's getting close to my voice running out, like I told you. I think I'm losing my voice over here. So let's start wrapping things up, I'll move on to what's going on in my world of comedy. I ran into Sarah Silverman last week. That's pretty cool, right? Ran into Sarah Silverman randomly down by NYU area. Asked her place-ish, right? I was leaving a show. It was my buddy Keith Collins. He was headlining this theater near New York Comedy Club, East Village. And I was walking to the subway, and I was looking at my phone, just chilling, casual. And I look up, and someone was kind of walking my direction, doing the same, kind of slow. You see just kind of reading tweets or whatever she was reading. I was doing the same, and then I saw her, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's Sarah Silverman!" It's like, Sarah? Or I think I said, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. I think Sarah. It was just like came out of my mouth as we were passing each other, and she looked at me, and she's like, "Oh, hi." You know, we don't know each other. She doesn't know me, I should say. Or does she? You never know. Maybe she does know me. I don't know. But we haven't been introduced to each other. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't get the vibe she wanted to like sit down and have a conversation, so I didn't want to press that. All I did was say, I said I was appropriate as I was walking away there. I just said, "You're awesome." And she said, "Thanks." So, you know, when you meet somebody, here's the thing about fame. Let me state something that I think is important. I think that one of the things that would suck about being famous is people always want something. They feel like they can think that one of the things that would suck about being famous is people always want something. They feel like they can, they're naturally, there's a part of them that knows you can help them. So, or you try to get them to help you somehow. And then there's also a part of me as a human being that also cares about that person, even though I don't know her. I care about everyone, right? I care about her well-being. I don't want to be a burden on her. I don't want to bother her. So you get those like two sides that are kind of like battling in your head when you meet someone like that. There's a part of me that's like, oh, I want to tell her, I want to like regurgitate just like a lot of words at her right now. I want to tell her that I thought I saw her growing up. She was an influence in comedy. I think she's hilarious. She was, just think that she's awesome. I kind of encapsulated it with the "you're awesome" part, right? So that's the one side of the brand that's working. Then the other side of the brand is Sarah Silverman. Hey, you know how you helped out Pete Holmes in that TV show? Could you do that for me in real life? Maybe give me a job as a TV warm-up comedian for one of these late night shows or one of these shows that that could change my life. But I obviously didn't ask for that. That would be a little bit ridiculous. But there was a part of me that naturally wanted that, want to, if she could help me in comedy, right? So that my buddy, and he's like, yeah, what can you offer her, right? Well, I don't know what I can offer her other than being a friendship, which is something I could offer to anybody, right? Can always be a friend, right? So can always be a friend, and that's enough. That should be enough, right? As being friend, the people that you're friends with. Yeah, I don't know. Be interesting. And if for some reason Sarah Silverman was attracted to me, then we could figure other ways, But that's it's neither here nor there. That's for her to decide. What else is going on in the world of comedy, or my world of comedy? I've enrolled officially in my first Academy UCB level class with Alex Dixon. I've heard great things about her. So that starts on my birthday, which is this Wednesday. It'll be the first class from 3 to 6 p.m. in the afternoon. And looking forward to kicking that off. I have a show that night. So really on my birthday, most of the day will be dedicated to doing comedy. The rest will just be me refreshing my Facebook looking for as many happy birthday posts as I can possibly get, you know. So turning 33, baby. 33 is a cool number. You know how I am with the number three. Three is high school number one, and 33 was the year that Jesus died. So 33 is an interesting number. A lot of famous people die at the age of 33. Okay, I don't know if it's a lot of people, but a couple people that come to mind. Chris Farley died at age 33. I think Bruce Lee died at 33. 33, I guess you can get a lot done in 33 years. I've lived a whole life. That's what I'm trying to say. And just thankful for the 33 years that I have been given. We talked about the value of time. 33 years, guys. I've filled it as much of life as I possibly could, trying to extract every amount of life out of, fill my days with as much. Yeah, it's crazy. I wonder what St. Pete has on me, up in the archives, in these 33 years that I've had. Quite a bit. Like there's a pretty thick novel on Michael Oldroyd in the archives up there. And, just, all I can say is I'm thankful for everything. I'm happy. Gratitude is a big part of happiness. And it's important to sit back and think about the things that you're thankful for. Marcus Aurelius said, a wise man is a person who thinks about and is thankful for the things that they have rather than worrying about the things that they do not. And I appreciate that, Marcus Aurelius. I try to focus on that. Luckily, it's not that hard because I've been blessed, brah. I've been #blessed. And gratitude is also a big part of happiness itself. So people out there that are looking for happiness, true happiness, a big part of it is within yourself already, and learning to realize that you have so much already, So that's a little bit of my spiel going into my birthday. I'm treating myself to a nice little gift. I'm actually getting myself I'm getting a drone, guys. I bought myself a drone, this little tiny drone. It's DJI Mavic Mini. Anyway, Casey Neistat, or I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's the big YouTuber. Watched this video of him testing this little tiny drone and sold me on it. There should have been a place for me to type in a code for him so he could get a piece of that change, because he sold me on it. And I'm very excited to get this little drone and use it for my vlogging. I think it'll add a little bit of spice. So it's good to treat yourself, especially on your birthday. A couple years ago, I bought myself a fleshlight. Very exciting when it came in the mail. Figured I'd turn the dial up a little bit and move on to a drone this year. And pre-ordered that son of a gun. And the fleshlight was fun. I don't know if I ever told you guys about that, but I've never gotten a boner over an inanimate object before. I remember when I ordered the fleshlight a couple weeks before my birthday, and it somehow magically arrived on my birthday. It was like fate, And I remember getting very excited opening the box and just getting a boner as I was opening the fleshlight. As I was opening the box, I got excited, no pun intended, and it was an interesting feeling to have, getting excited and getting a boner over a fleshlight. But you know what? Masturbation, healthy stuff. I heard that it's healthy for your brain, probably other parts of your everything. But watch this video on the female orgasm on that show Explained on Netflix today. Very interesting stuff. The female orgasm. It's talking about masturbation for women in the orgasm. I gotta say that I'm pretty damn good when it comes to there was a move that I invented. I should say I discovered. I didn't invent it. I discovered it. And I talk about it in my comedy special about how to go down on a girl and how pure love and pure lust led me to learning how to basically blow up the vagina like it's a little baboon fat ass by sucking on the. All right, this is a little It's a little graphic. I apologize. Just, maybe watch my comedy special in Kansas City, my closing joke to learn more about that. It is a real thing, and unfortunately, to my fleshlight, it doesn't have the same effect. Anyway, what else is going on? I'm making YouTube videos, making more YouTube videos. Definitely, it's worth following me. The Droid, once again, THEDROYD, all one word. Subscribe. I'm very excited. I put out a couple videos. I have more coming. I filmed some. We're editing right now. It's in post-production. I'm inspired, and I've been vlogging. I've been accumulating content. I got that apparatus for my phone, what they call it, the gimbal thing that like keeps your phone level. Was filming a ton of stuff today, walking to and from practice, to and from the shows, Times Square, all this stuff, making content for Instagram, YouTube, other stuff. Guys, the momentum is fire rises, as been says in The Dark Knight Rises, right? The fire rises. All right. Motivating me to vlog more. I'm getting more energy. I'm vlogging. I'm vlogging parts of workouts now. Here's a cool thing. The highest follower I have on Instagram now is that Nathan guy. I forget his last name, but he's one of the guys on Good Morning Football. The guy I told you guys. I met him a couple weeks ago when I went to the TV show. He has 100-and-some thousand followers. Hey, he follows me. So that gave me a big boner when I found that out. And it's crazy. What's crazy is how this business is somewhat intertwined. They say that it gets smaller. This world gets smaller and smaller as you get closer and closer to the top. But when I see people that are having successful professions and I like connect with them, I see that they're like connected with other people that I know, like on social media, which I realize, wow, they know each other. That's crazy. It's a small world. People that I met at the New York Stock Exchange, when my buddy took me there, I see that they're connected with other people in the journeys up in Boston. Shout out to Wally. People like Austin Huff. There was people at the Good Morning Football that knew Austin Huff, and it's just funny how the sports world, the journalism world from Mizzou, the success, that there's I'm in New York, the more those things kind of, that fruit becomes more and more ripe. And I'm doing it, baby. We're doing it out here, son. Like shit's harvesting, bruh. You know what I mean? Speaking of shit's harvesting, did you guys see that movie Up in the Clouds with Keanu Reeves back from the mid-90s, 95, I think? I stumbled upon that the other day, and I watched it. I watched a chick flick by myself, right? Jessica was sleeping, and I stayed up till like 4 a.m. watching watching this movie Up in the Clouds with Keanu Reeves. And I guess what made me think of that is the vineyards that they lived on, and harvest. Keanu Reeves just plays a good guy, man. I feel like he just plays himself in everything. And he's one person I'd love to meet, work with, have lunch with, be friends with. He seems awesome. He funds children's hospitals secretly. They're making another Matrix. I mean, Keanu, fuck yeah, dude. Love you, bro. I definitely want to meet you. If I see you in the street, I'll probably say Keanu. And then if you're like, yeah, I'll probably be like, you're awesome. And he'll probably be like, thanks. And I'll be like, shit, that was the same interaction I had with Sarah Jessica. I meant Sarah Silverman. Holy shite. I did watch Hocus Pocus, speaking of Sarah Jessica Parker, before Halloween. And she reminds me of Jessica in a lot of ways. It was fun. Hocus Pocus is fun. Thought about being the Sanderson sisters. But all right, I know I'm rambling, but I'm having fun. You know what I'm excited about, guys? This podcast, I don't think is going to last 2 hours. We're going to be close to 1:30, hopefully, and then we can knock it out. So, I mentioned Austin Huff. I think I mentioned him often now. Check him out. He's doing a lot of stuff. Excited for his success. He's working his butt off, making content. Also, his radio stuff, working for ESPN in St. Louis. I'm going home for Christmas. So Austin, I know that last year when I was home around Christmas time, we tried doing. I was gonna do comedy at that candy shop. There was like some candy, like Santa's like candy shop in St. Charles. Austin came to watch me. My buddy Paul came to watch me. Chris came to watch me. And I'll be darned, we show up and they're like, "What comedy show?" So, joke was on me apparently. Apparently they didn't do shows on that night. So I followed up with the dude. His name's Mike. Followed up with this dude named Mike. Like, "Hey, yo, where's the show?" He's like, "Oh, I didn't. Sorry, I meant to tell you. It's like the first Thursday of the month." Or I was like, "Oh, thanks, great stuff. Glad all my friends came out for nothing." But it wasn't for nothing because we walked around St. Charles, which is a beautiful, quaint part of Missouri near St. Louis, and they had people dressed up from like the 1800s, like Christmas carolers, and it was so cool. It was like going back in time. Yo, I can't really explain it, but like they were playing in character on the street, talking to you, dressed up like 18. I mean, yo, it was like some cosplay shit on steroids, multiplied by Saint Nicholas, #Jesus. It was like, yo, this is like Christmas spirit on roids. And I definitely want to go back there this year. So Huff, maybe we'll try again. Maybe you can have me on your podcast this time if you're listening. Been asking him for that forever. I put him on my show twice and then freaking doesn't even return the favor once. It's like these chicks when I go to eat them out and they, have an orgasm and then they don't return the favor. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, and they're like, I never said I was going to do that. That's not required. And I'm like, damn it, you're right. We didn't have like a negotiation first. We didn't sign papers. Sucks. You just deal with it. Anyway, I mentioned that show Explained. Speaking of female orgasms, that's the next show I think I'm going to binge on Netflix. I watched one about memory. That was really interesting. It said that your memory warps over time. You remember certain things. Your memory actually changes. So, that's interesting stuff. Something to think about. I don't know if it's true. You shouldn't believe everything you see or hear. Let my podcast entertain you. Don't necessarily believe everything, even though I am telling the truth. Am I articulating it the same way that's in my mind, though? Who's to say, right? I guess I'm the only person that would really be able to unlock that through some objective, what do you call it? Going through this with a fine-tooth comb after I've done the podcast, looking through all the facts, saying, did that come out of my mouth right? That's what I'm trying to say. So I think I articulated that properly. Anyway, what do I want to talk about? The last couple of things I'll say is I'll talk about Jessica and then I'll talk about Paul, my friend Paul I mentioned a second ago. So Jessica, she's excited about the drone that I got. She's such a unique chick. She used to have a drone. How interesting is Jessica? What chick out there have you ever heard of that's like thinks drones are cool? I think she crashed her drone or something. I hope that doesn't happen to mine. But either way, I think she's excited that I'm getting a drone. I kind of thought it'd be like a gift for both of us in a way. But she's been looking up cool stuff for me to do for my birthday. She said she's going to give me she's looking at a helicopter to fly around Manhattan. So how cool would that be? I'll feel like Superman, Speaking of Superman, I was watching Superman Returns the other night. Take place, a lot of it here in Manhattan, New York. And I see myself in Clark, a part of myself in Clark Joseph Kent, a.k.a. Kal-El. And it was pretty fun stuff. And, I'd love to see Manhattan from his perspective. Get a little vlog action while I'm at it. Take some pictures, take some videos, put it on social media. Get some likes. I don't know. I've been wanting to do that for a while. She's been watching The Politician lately. I don't know if you guys see that show, but she's gonna suck me into a show that I don't even want to. I never would have watched, and now all of a sudden I'm like interested because I can't. It's like when my mom used to watch Lifetime movies. I would hear it in the background. I'd be doing something, and finally after like minutes I'm distracted enough, and I've heard. I'm like, now I gotta watch this. So I used to get sucked into the Lifetime channel as a kid, and now it's Same thing is happening all over again with Jessica's shows, like Politician. She's such an interesting chick, guys. I could do an hour on her. I need to do a YouTube story on her. Latest thing happened is today I smelled something burning after I was working out downstairs. You know, as I told you, I come up, I smell something burning, and I'll be damned. She's sleeping. I look over, and there's this piece of pizza, 2 pieces of pizza that I bought. My pizza, by the way, she didn't even ask me, is just sitting in a oven, pitch black, completely burnt it. I go, Jessica, are you cooking something? She wakes up, she screams, she's, oh, sorry, oh no. That's a good example of her personality. And, nice gal, means well. A little clumsy, a little clumsy, but hey, interesting and unique and entertaining. Very entertaining chick, I said I'll finish up talking about Paul, and then we'll call it a day. So we're at 131 right now. I'd love to finish at 131 because you know how much I love the number 31, but whatever. I met this dude named Paul, who was a previous professional boxer from Australia. He's one of the trainers downstairs in our gym, and him and I have become friends. And he's been showing me some stuff with boxing lately. But we've made a friendship. When he has free time, he like runs me through certain combinations and shadow boxing. And, I said combinations already, I think, but not sparring, but he'll hold up the pads and like run me through. But not sparring, but he'll hold up the pads and like run me through combinations. 1 2 1 2 2 3 2. Helping me with my form. So I'm actually learning a little bit about the basics of boxing through this cool dude named Paul now. Shout out to Paul. His actual name, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but Paul Nicholas. And just a great guy. We've really formed a bond already. And you can tell he has a tremendous passion for teaching boxing, for boxing itself as a whole. He was hitting the bag, just showing me like some form stuff, and he was just like rocking this bag. He wasn't even hitting it, but his form is so good. It was like, I've never seen a bag. Someone casually hit a punching bag, and the entire thing shakes out. So, been very fortunate to have met Paul, and Paul's a great name. Speaking of Paul, my buddy Paul Stemmerman might be coming out this weekend to help me celebrate my birthday. This Paul is the guy that beat out Rob Gronkowski for Paul's wife. I think I mentioned that to you guys before, but Paul married his lovely wife Amber. I was a groomsman at his wedding, and Gronkowski was hitting on her at one point when before she was married, and Paul beat the fool out. So these are the type of underground dudes that I got in my Knights at the Round Table. Paul is one of the Knights at my round table, and that's just one tiny example of the caliber of dude this dude is. He reminds me of, Tristan. Is it Tristan from not A River Runs Through It, but the other one that Brad Pitt did. The Three Brothers, where Tristan like defeated a bear. Yeah, he reminds me of Paul in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff, man. Shout out to my man Paul Stemmerman, exemplifying love. This dude is exemplifying love, living up to his name. As we all know, there was an apostle named Paul who wrote the book of Corinthians, which is essentially the book of love. And my man Paul Stemmerman is embodying that through the life that he is leading, and showing that love is greater than Rob Gronkowski. No hating on. I'm not hating on Gronk. I hope he's doing well. His stand-up comedy needs some work, and his commentating needs some work. But I'd like to see him make a comeback. I think he said he'd make a comeback if they allow CBD in the NFL. And I don't think the NFL really cares to change things over whether or not Gronk is going to come back. But I have no negative. I have no hating on Gronk. He was a great tight end. It was actually National Tight End Day the other day, and I gave a shout out to my man Martin Rucker and Chase Kaufman, two best tight ends I've ever known. So finally, what else did I want to say about Paul? Yeah, we'll end with a little Halloween theme. Paul, I think last time Paul and I hung out, I showed him this video of another dude named Paul that voluntarily got eaten by this giant anaconda wearing some giant like suit. And this guy voluntarily allowed this giant anaconda to eat him. His name was Paul. And the anaconda, like, he waited until the last minute to pull the cord, and they like pulled him out. Like, they had this way to like eject him from the anaconda as it's like swallowing him alive, eating him alive. It's just like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. But him and I, Paulie, my Paul, laughed. It's hilarious. Speaking of that, I don't know what the deal is, but lately all these snake feeding videos have been popping up on my YouTube channel. I think I watched one or two, and now like every time I log in, it's like a new snake feeding video. It's kind of like when you look at porn, like a certain genre, and then you get all these recommendations for whatever reason. It's interesting, but I don't like the fact. So some people have pet snakes, and they have to feed them like live rats or whatever. I don't like that the animals have to die like that. I know it's part of nature, so I don't watch it because I like watching that part. But I think it's interesting to see how the snake survives and how it attacks. It is a predator, like a shark. And I always find that interesting. But I'd like to like propose the idea of inventing a way to like do like a fake kill. You know what I mean? Like to kind of not like that dude who allowed himself to get swallowed by the snake and then ejected. But when it comes to the mice, maybe the mice could wear some like protective gear or something, so that the snake can still like go through the motions of like if it's a venomous snake, whatever, like biting the rat, but the rat, maybe it's not wearing like biting the rat, but the rat, maybe it's not wearing protective gear, but somehow the rat before it dies, and then like switch out like fake food for the snake. Like, not fake food, but like, what am I trying to say? I don't think I'm articulating this properly because it's almost 3 a.m. now. But if there's any way for the snake to bite the rat that gets put in the terrarium, right, when it's doing the feeding, and then the rat starts to become paralyzed or whatever, and then here I come with like this magic serum to like save the rat's life, and then I pull that rat out of the cage, let it come back to life and feel good and everything's dandy with it, and then I switch that rat out with like some food that will still nourish the snake. You know what I mean? So that way the snake gets the practice of, doing what it does in nature, but the animal doesn't die, and somehow there's like, like some food that the snake can still eat and allow it to be nourished. You want the best for all animals here. I don't like to see innocent mice, not having a chance. I think it's a little cruel to just throw them in the cage. I know the snake has to eat, so I'm all for respecting all animals. Remember I talked about respect. You respect your enemies before. I know snakes oftentimes represent evil, but you should even respect things like that, because the snake is life as well. You just they say love your enemies, right? So now we're speaking metaphorically and deep. Love your enemies. It doesn't mean adopt them or whatever, but definitely. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is he's good and Voldemort is bad. He speaks to snakes. So I don't think Harry Potter would like put harm on a snake just because it represents evil. but it would use all animals of the animal kingdom in the name of good and for good. So I don't know what I'm trying to say. I do know what I'm trying to say is, and that is respect all living things. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is respect all living things, and even things that you think are your enemies, you should still respect it and not try to create harm for things of that nature. You know, just bring the light to everything, baby. All right, so we're 140 minutes in. That's a little bit better than the last couple of weeks. You know, we didn't do 2 hours. So if you made it this far, you guys are awesome. Hopefully, I imparted some interesting thoughts going into the week for you. But November's here. It's official. Happy birthday to me. For all the Scorpios out there, happy birthday to you this month. Leonardo DiCaprio, I know you're a Scorpio. Happy birthday, bro. I don't know you. I don't know why I just called you bro, but hey, I think you're awesome. So, yeah. Funniest thing I saw about Leo, I saw a meme of him with Greta Thunberg. It said, man, Leonardo DiCaprio keeps dating younger and younger girls. It's a joke because he's supporting Greta Thunberg because, you know, he's a human rights activist and trying to make the world a better place, which I think is awesome, you know. So anyway, that's where we are, guys. And thank you for tuning in. Happy November. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. And it's going to be a fun month, you know. Every month is a fun month, right? Because here we are. We're grateful. We've got gratitude. Time is valuable, and the time is now. So this is November, and that means I'm excited. And, yeah, I'm going to stop talking now.